Today, more and more parents depend on their children's grandparents for childcare. Do you think this is a positive or a negative trend? Give reasons for your answer and include any relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. Model answer 1. In contemporary society, there is a growing trend of parents relying on their children's grandparents for childcare. This essay argues that this trend is a negative development, highlighting the potential drawbacks associated with such dependency. Firstly, the increasing dependence on grandparents for childcare can have adverse effects on the older generation's health and well-being. Many grandparents are already in their senior years, and taking on the responsibility of looking after young children can be physically and mentally demanding. This can lead to exhaustion, stress, and even health issues, as they may struggle to keep up with the energy levels and demands of young children. For instance, a recent study found that grandparents who provided regular childcare were more likely to report increased levels of stress and fatigue, which could have long-term implications for their overall health. Secondly, the reliance on grandparents for childcare can strain intergenerational relationships within families. While grandparents may be willing to help, the continuous burden of childcare can lead to feelings of resentment and strain on these relationships. Over time, the expectation that grandparents will always be available for childcare can lead to conflicts and emotional stress, potentially weakening family bonds. For example, a survey conducted in 2020 revealed that a significant number of grandparents felt obligated to provide childcare, even when they had other personal commitments or health issues, leading to tension within their families. In conclusion, the growing trend of parents depending on their children's grandparents for childcare is a negative development. It can have adverse effects on the health and well-being of grandparents and strain family relationships. Therefore, it is essential to consider alternative childcare solutions that can balance the needs of both generations more effectively. Sample answer 2. In many countries, it is common for working parents to rely on their parents or in-laws to take care of their young children. While some people may argue that this is a beneficial arrangement for both the grandparents and the grandchildren, I believe this is a negative trend that has several drawbacks. One of the main reasons why I believe this trend is negative is because it creates a lot of stress and burden for elderly grandparents. They may have their own health issues, financial problems, or personal interests that they need to attend to. Taking care of young children can be physically and mentally exhausting, especially if they have to do it on a regular basis. So, grandparents may not be able to cope with the demands and challenges of raising children in the modern world. For example, they may not be familiar with the latest educational methods, technologies, or safety standards. Another reason this is a negative development is that it can affect the quality of the relationship between the parents and their children. Parents may miss out on important milestones, events, or experiences in their children's lives. They may not be able to bond with their children as much as they would like to. They may also lose some authority or respect from their children, who may see their grandparents as their primary caregivers. Finally, parents may have conflicts or disagreements with their children's grandparents over how to raise their children. They may have different values, beliefs, or expectations that can cause friction or misunderstanding. In conclusion, I think that depending on grandparents for childcare is a negative trend that should be avoided if possible. It can put too much pressure on the grandparents, who may not be able to provide the best care for the children. It can also weaken the connection between the parents and their children, and create conflicts with their parents.